I think sustainability and environmental impact is something that's top of mind for a lot of people, no matter what industry you're in or what business you're in. Hi, my name is Sarah Lenkaitis, and I'd like to welcome you guys to Lenkaitis Holsteins. This is my family's dairy farm where I farm alongside my husband, Andy, and our son, Lucas. I'd like to invite you guys inside where we're going to take a look at the technology that we use to help take care of our cows, and that helps us be more sustainable.
On our farm, we utilize technology that allows us to be sustainable for a farm of our size and be competitive in a global marketplace, but also helps us keep our farm in this location.
The footprint of the farm really hadn't changed since 1983. We milked in a tie stall barn, which had room for about 38 cows. So my husband and I, when we took over the dairy farm 6 years ago, decided that we needed to plan for the future. Part of that included installing robotic milking units. We have 2 of them that milk our cows every day. And then we also added some other technology, including an automated manure system. And then we also have an activity system, which is kind of similar to like a Fitbit watch, which tracks all of each individual cow's daily activity. This is one of the 2 robotic milkers here at Lenkaitis Holsteins. And you can see cow 285 Bravo has just entered the box and is starting to milk. And so on this screen, we get a lot of information about each of her milkings. So as you can see, she's expected to give 26.54 pounds of milk. And so all this information really helps us manage our cows. Now, each of the cows is able to visit the robotic milker whenever she wants. On average, our cows visit the robotic milker about 3 times a day. So robotic milkers are a great addition to our farm, helping us be more sustainable in that we have about the same amount of labor milking 90 cows as we used to have when we milked about 35 cows.
When my parents started this farm in 1983, we had just 5 cows that we started with. What's been important to us is that we make the best use of the resources we have available. In our area, land is not easy to come by, so we want to make sure that we can utilize it to the fullest extent while treating it the best that we can. So right now, today, we produce about double the milk with about the same amount of land that we used previously. And we do that by taking better care of the cow and by taking better care of the crops that we feed those animals. And part of that is our healthy soil that we use. What we're looking at here today is part of our cover crops or overwinter crops. This is actually Italian ryegrass. So we planted this after corn came off this fall. This gives us an opportunity to do a double crop throughout the year so we can grow twice as much forage on the same amount of ground and make better use of the little bit of land that we have available to us here.
We actually do a lot of recycling here on the farm. So first I'd start with the cow's feed. So cows eat a lot of things that can't be utilized by you or me. So we grow a lot of our own crops that we use for our feed, which is formulated by our nutritionist. Then we'll start to look at what byproducts can we add to the cow's diet. So we actually have 2 byproducts in our cow's diet right now. One is called corn gluten, which is a byproduct of corn production that couldn't be used otherwise. And the other is whole fuzzy cottonseed, which is a byproduct of cotton production. So things that you or I can't eat or utilize can then be recycled and eaten by our cows to then produce milk that you and I can enjoy. The other thing is we do recycle our manure. And what we do with the manure that we collect is we run it through what's called a manure separator. Now that's kind of like that old wringer washer machine that you've maybe seen before. So it takes the manure and it rolls it between 2 sets of rollers, and it's actually mechanically separating the fiber portion from the liquid portion. Now the liquid portion is important to us because that's where all the nutrients are that we want to use as fertilizer, a natural fertilizer, to help grow our crops. And then the fiber portion doesn't have a lot of nutritional value, but what it does make is a great bedding for our cows. The other thing that we do on our farm to recycle is we actually utilize our water a couple of times. So we have a plate cooler in our milk house, and we use that plate cooler to help us cool down our milk before it's stored in our bulk tank.
This is a key piece of technology to help make us energy efficient. The milk comes in at cow's body temperature, which is about 102 degrees roughly. And then we have cold water coming from our well on our farm, which comes out of the ground at roughly about 55 degrees. What that does is allow us to use that cool well water to cool the milk down to get it as cold as we can for free, essentially, before it goes into the bulk tank. And we want to get it cool as quick as we can to help preserve the quality. So if we take a closer look at the plate heat exchanger, we have separate plates for the milk and the water. They never mix together. They're actually separated by a metal piece between each of the sections. So each alternating section has milk and the ones in between have water. You know, we're less than 50 miles from downtown Chicago. Some people think we're crazy for wanting to farm, especially livestock farm in this area. What keeps us here is that it's a wonderful place to grow up. And for us, I couldn't think of a better place where I got to grow up and where I get to raise my family. And there's nothing better than taking care of animals and having that relationship, provide them with shelter and food. They provide milk that we can consume. It's a great, wonderful relationship.